Hello, I'm Chris Nail, Superintendent of Beebe School District. And today, our principals and directors are going to have a question and answer session for all the questions sent in by our parents and community members. After the session is over with, if you still have questions, please feel free to use our COVID support line for further support and instruction.
Okay, Dr. Dillon, we have some questions about special education services for next school year. Will students still have IEP meetings?
Yes, IEP meetings will still be held. If you elect the virtual option, you can choose to have virtual or in-person meetings.
And what about our dyslexia students? Will they still be receiving the services they need throughout the school year?
Yes, ma'am. Those services will also continue. A virtual platform will also be used for students in grades 3 through 12. However, the service will be rendered by district personnel.
I'm with Mr. Chris Ellis. He is our athletic and safety director for the district. Mr. Ellis, we have a lot of questions from parents coming in about COVID-19. So one of the questions that we had come in was if the details of COVID-specific cases will be shared with the public.
Okay, due to HIPAA regulations, we will not be able to give specific details. However, we will do a release that indicates a student in a certain building or activity had tested positive, and they will be contacted by the district as well as reported to the State Department of Health. Furthermore, the primary contacts, which consist of all the students who were within 6 feet of this student for over 15 consecutive minutes, will also be reported to the state and their parents contacted as well.
All right, what about if a child is exposed to COVID and they get COVID, are they going to be counted absent?
Students who get COVID will not be counted absent. They will be able to attend school virtually during their 14-day quarantine period.
What about contact tracing? So how is the district going to deal with being able to keep up with the students and contact tracing?
This year, above all years, seating charts, bus riding charts, rosters for sporting events will be very, very important because those documents will be used to indicate who was exposed to a student who tests positive for COVID-19. And utilizing those documents, we'll be able to figure out who was within the 6-foot radius for 15 consecutive minutes.
Okay. Another question that we're getting is, will masks be required at all times or only when children are in the hallways?
Masks for grades 5 through 12 will be required, excluding the times where they are eating, actually physically eating lunch, not just the lunch period, but physically eating lunch, and or participating in an activity, or it could be recess, it could be athletics, etc.
Okay, and are there certain medical conditions that will allow a student to not be able to wear a mask next year?
If a student has a medical condition documented by a physician, they will be allowed not to wear a mask.
Okay. All right, and so here's the big question that we're hearing all the time. How will sports work for next school year?
As of today, we're still waiting direction from the governor's office and the State Department of Health. However, we've been told to proceed as if we're beginning on time, which is the week of August 24. We are in phase 1 of athletic workouts at the moment. We do have some activities that have not begun as of yet, but according to a meeting I was involved in this morning, as of August 3rd, we should have an update that will allow us to move forward.
Thank you. I'm with Dr. Scott Embry. He is Assistant Superintendent at the district. Dr. Embry, we had some questions from parents coming in about buses. So a lot of parents are wanting to know whether or not temperatures will be taken at the bus stops.
Okay. Actually, student temperature will not be taken at the bus stops. We are asking parents to check temperatures but before students are released from their home.
Okay. How will the district ensure social distancing on the buses?
Well, one thing that we're encouraging is for all parents to look for alternative modes of transportation. That will cut down on the number of students that are actually riding the bus. That would help a lot. But for the students that are going to be riding a bus, they will all be wearing masks. They will have assigned seats on the bus. They'll be sitting in the same seat daily. And so those are the things that we'll do so we can do proper contact tracing.
And will the district be running extra routes for the buses?
Actually, there's not a good way for us to do that right now. We're looking at some possibilities. There may be a possibility of some in-town routes running those, but the time factor as far as getting students to school on time, that is going to be an issue. So we're looking at that, but no decision has been made on that. Right now, we're just expecting to run routes as normal.
Okay. Okay, so the other thing is concerning just the students and some of the virtual questions. So if a student has signed up to be a virtual student for next school year, will they be able to receive a laptop as well?
Yes, all students in the district will receive a laptop,
Okay,
whether they're virtual or on-site.
okay. And then will breakfast and lunch be provided for our virtual students? And if so, how will that happen?
Okay. One thing that we're doing, our Miss Jackie Perry is our food service director, and she'll be working with Dr. Dillon on identifying the students that are virtual students, and we will send out information to them asking if they would be interested in us providing breakfast and lunch. If they say that they do want to do that, what Miss Perry will do is set up a time one day a week for those parents to come to the school, come to a specific cafeteria, and they would pick up breakfast, lunch for the entire week. So they would pick up 10 meals for the entire week.
Okay, and then our last question is about cleaning and the sanitation for the district. So will the district have additional staff on site between classes and activities in high traffic areas throughout the day to ensure that we're maintaining, sanitation and disinfectant?
Sure. We work with SSC. They're our custodial provider for our district, and have talked to them a lot. They are hiring extra personnel to do that, extra day porters to help with that. We'll be testing for high contact areas or high traffic areas for them to clean throughout the day. So that will be taking place, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I am here this morning with Ms. Jenkins. She's the principal at the Early Childhood Building. Ms. Jenkins, we have lots of questions coming in from parents for the Early Childhood Building. So one of the questions that we're receiving has been parents want to know when they are going to find out who their child's teacher is for next year.
Absolutely, that's a great question. That's always something so exciting. The plans right now are to release those class lists the week of August the 3rd. Students will receive this information through the mail.
And what about open house? Are we doing an open house this year, or what are we doing as far as open house is concerned?
Okay. This information will be shared at a later date.
Okay.
Mhm.
Another question that came in has been that activity teachers pushing into the classroom, but the early childhood on the video said that they would be transitioning. So could you help explain what you're going to be doing with those transitions for the activity classes?
Absolutely. We wanted to provide the most normal day we can for the children, and to provide an enriching environment for those students in those particular classrooms. And those teachers will also disinfect the classrooms after each class leaves.
Okay. All right, so when the students arrive in the morning, how will the seating in the hallways work outside of the classrooms?
That will look different this year. Typically, or last year, let me rephrase that, they sat in the hallway till 7:45. Students will go into the classrooms at about 7:30, and this will keep them, it'll be less than a 15-minute period sitting together.
All right, so another question that we're hearing consistently is when the students at early childhood go to the nurse to receive their medications, how will they be kept apart from each other?
Okay. Students that go see Nurse Amber are in there for less than 15 minutes getting their medications. And indeed, if we do have sick children, they will definitely be isolated from the children in there for meds.
Also, do kindergarten students work on Chromebooks?
Yes, they do.
Okay. So students starting kindergarten next school year, will they be required to wear a mask?
They are not required to wear a mask, but it is highly recommended.
Okay. What about car pickup? Are there different times for car pickup for the new school year?
The car pickup times will be the same as last year, and we will publicize those.
Okay. And a big question that we've seen consistently is, can we walk our kids to school on the first day of school?
Absolutely. That's a very important question, and we are working on a strategy to figure this out, and especially for kindergarten, and we will share that information early in August.
Okay. And what about centers and carpet areas? Will students be able to still go to centers and be able to sit on the carpet in the classrooms?
That's very important. Centers will look different this year. They will be tabletop centers by that individual student, and students won't be sitting at the carpet as a whole group. They will do that type of instruction from their desk.
Okay, what is the plan for social distancing at early childhood in the hallways and on the playground?
Okay, transition to and from the playground going through the hallways is less than 15 minutes, and teachers will remind students of the guidelines while on the playground, and social distancing will be followed as much as possible. Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with Miss Corson and Miss Marshall, assistant principals at the elementary. We had some questions from our elementary parents that we wanted to ask you both. So one of the main questions that we're hearing from parents is the social distancing. So what does that look like for recess and lunch at the elementary school?
Okay, so we are going to be using social distancing as much as possible with all of our students and staff. Admin and teachers are going to go over their expectations prior to recess and prior to lunch. And our counselors are also going to role play with our students to show them what it looks like so that they are prepared.
And in the cafeteria, students are going to be spread out as much as feasible, and students will have an empty seat on each side of them and in front of them.
Okay, another question that we're hearing a lot is about online learning. So if a student takes online learning courses, will that still count towards a grade for the elementary?
Yes, all assignments online at home or at school will be considered for a grade.
Okay, I'm with Mr. Reed from the Beebe Middle School. Mr. Reed, we have some questions coming in from parents. One of the main things that we're hearing is, when will the supply list be released for 5th and 6th grade students?
Great question. Yeah, supply lists will get posted by the end of the week because we want to make sure we get those out for parents to take advantage of the tax-free holiday coming up.
Okay. And can you help us understand what the shuttle bus procedures will be for the morning and the afternoon?
Yes, ma'am. Shuttle bus procedures will be just like normal, like last year. Students will arrive on campus and have an option to get a grab-and-go breakfast or go inside to eat in the cafeteria. And in the afternoon, we will dismiss students that ride the shuttle bus first so that they can clear off campus, and then dismiss our car riders.
And also, a lot of parents want to know when they're going to be able to find out who their student's homeroom teacher is for the upcoming school year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as soon as we find out how many students are actually going to enroll in virtual, then we'll be able to assign those students to different homeroom teachers for in-person learning, and we'll get that out to parents as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm with Mr. Widener. He is the assistant principal at Beebe Junior High. Mr. Widener, we have some questions coming in from parents that I want you to help us with. One of the questions that we have coming in is about the classes last year. So they used tables instead of desks. So can you kind of help explain that process for this upcoming school year?
Yes, so in order to remain socially distanced, we will sit each student at opposite ends of the table. They're 6 feet apart, which should allow them to be properly socially distanced. And then obviously if they're using desks, then that won't be a problem anyway. So the tables won't be an issue because they'll be sitting on opposite ends.
Okay, and then also, since students in 7th and 8th grade will all be issued a laptop, we had a lot of parents asking about what the plan is for keeping those laptops charged throughout the day.
Okay, so we would suggest that they charge at nighttime and make sure that they have a full charge when they come to school the next morning. If they forget to do that, or if they run low by the end of the day, there'll be charging stations with extra receptacles in each classroom in order for students to be able to charge their devices as they need to. Only laptops though.
Okay. And what about field trips this school year? So are field trips canceled for this school year already, or what's the plan with field trips?
There's no way to know at the moment. The plan, I would say, is just to play by ear, and we'll take it on a case-by-case basis and see kind of what our options are. But right now, there's no way to answer that 100%.
Okay. And then if parents did sign up for the virtual option, when will they be receiving more information from the junior high if they have a virtual student for the upcoming school year?
They're finalizing some things right now, and you should be getting information next week for those families who've signed up to receive virtual learning.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, I'm with Miss Carla Tarkington, the high school principal. Miss Tarkington, we have some questions coming in from our community that we need some help on. So one of the questions that we're hearing consistently is about students transferring classes.
That's a great question. Students are still going to transfer classes. We have set up one-way hallways in our buildings. Those will be clearly marked, but they'll still transfer classes. They'll still have 6 minutes in between classes, and will be able to go to their classes via one-way hallways.
Okay. Okay, and also with the limited restrooms, will students still have 5 minutes to get to the next class, or will they be able to use the restroom during class throughout the school year?
Well, they have 6 minutes between classes, and they will still have that. And yes, if students have bathroom issues, we're certainly going to accommodate them.
Okay. Okay, so another question that we're having consistently come in is about elective courses. So can you help us understand what students who are taking virtual courses, what they will be able to take as far as their electives?
We have a wide variety of courses on the Virtual Arkansas site. There's a lot of medical completer courses and a lot of those. So the Virtual Arkansas should offer most of the classes that we also offer on site at VB.
And then also, if a student decides to do school virtually, will they be able to participate in FFA or other extracurricular activities?
Yes, students that are virtual students are allowed to participate in extracurricular activities.
And one clarifying question that we need is about our seniors. So we've seen this one a lot as well. So can you please help clarify if the senior can only be on campus for the specific courses that they need to graduate, or do they need to be there all day?
We really want to accommodate the student. There are some students that have a huge load of all AP courses, and if they want or need to be there all day, then we certainly want them to do that. If it's going to work out better for them to only do a half day and take the courses that they need to fulfill their graduation requirements, then we want to help them do that. We're actually looking at schedules right now, trying to get seniors scheduled to either an AM or a PM schedule. In fact, we just sent out a survey for the seniors to fill out for those that want to participate in that, opt into that program, and we'll contact them and make sure that if there is an elective or something that they definitely want to keep, we try to make that happen for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for viewing the video today. If you have any further questions, please let us know. The easiest way to communicate with the school right now is through the COVID support email line. That address is covid.support@badger.k12.ar.us. Please know that we understand that we are in uncharted territory right now, and we are here to support you and your child to make the best decisions moving forward. With all that being said, the 2020-21 school year is going to be amazing. We look forward to serving you and your child. And remember, it's always a great day to be a Badger.